So the question remains, what is then metaphysical coaching? And metaphysics as a word means beyond physics, which means also that there are many other connections to us than just physics. We know that with metaphysics and physics today, there is really no more difference. So in a way, the term is confusing. However, metaphysical coaching is something that allows us to go much, much deeper into a person's world, inner world, and to explore the reins of the unconscious, the reins of the soul learning, the bigger picture and the bigger purpose of why we're here, and to look at the issues that we're dealing with that are perhaps painful or confusing in a much broader context, and allow the client to embrace more what appears to be an absolutely horrible situation, to look at that from a very different perspective. Of course, if someone is going through a current state of shock or grief, that may not be the right thing to do, to say, well, what is it that you now can learn or look at? There are different things to do depending on the circumstances of the individual. However, when the rapport is there and the person is less in a grieving or shock state or even anger state, then there is a way to gently move into a different perspective. So if someone goes currently through a very serious crisis, for example, it would not be appropriate to tell a person, well, what did you learn here, or what is your next step, etc. In those moments, a good coach, any good coach, would be just present with the individual and maybe just listen and comfort. But there is then a time when you move on where you may ask for a broader perspective. And if a coach, a qualified metaphysical coach, for example, would know about the different types of karma or the distinct difference between soul and spirit, it would allow for a much wider range to ask questions and also to educate the individual on certain parts of who we are and what we're all about. And with that, I would like to also mention that the term metaphysical coaching may not need it to be said. It's more about the context of the coach. Some people don't know what that is, metaphysics. Some people have an allergic reaction to spiritual and certainly to religious. Most people that I encounter have an allergic reaction to. So, but again, it's the contract you have with the individual and the rapport you have to find out where your client is and what he or she may or may not be comfortable with. This is all part of the exploration and rapport building in the beginning. I would like to share that people who have opened their hearts and their minds both to explore the different parts of who we are, their life is richer, fuller, and they do find peace inside and freedom. And this is so highly personal that it's very difficult for anyone, unless they experience it, to measure and share this kind of experience. However, for myself personally, this is the most fulfilling and satisfying experience that I have, when I see people be more alive, have more courage, have more love, be able to receive more love, and just generally are more productive and happy and content with their circumstances, no matter what. And I know of hardly anything that makes me more happy.